Let's define what I mean by young person first. One question that I often get asked is, what's the difference between coaching and mentoring? Aren't they the same thing? The next thing to think about is, what is coaching? So what are the benefits of coaching young people? The benefits are far-reaching and extensive. Through my organisation Worth It, I've been pioneering the field of positive psychology coaching to help young people improve wellbeing and resilience, training up hundreds of organisations around the world and supporting thousands of practitioners learn how to coach young people, which is really exciting for me and something that I want to continue to grow and build on. All the work at Worth It and all the content on my channel is based on applied positive psychology research, my own academic research and practical experience of working with schools and organisations and young people for now nearly 15 years. In this video, I'm going to be covering a lot of the questions that I often get asked by people who are interested in doing my accredited coach training program and then progressing on to be a certified Worth It coach. What is coaching? Coaching is usually a short-term intervention where you're supporting a young person to identify their goals and aims and develop the skills to then work towards achieving their goals. You do that through a non-directive approach of asking questions that helps raise awareness so they can find their own solutions. So I tend to use the term life coaching because we're doing developmental coaching through different life stages of adolescence, working with young people. Let's define what I mean by young person first. To me, a young person is 13 to 25. And the reason why I go up to the age of 25 is because adolescence lasts into your mid-20s, because the brain is still being developed well into our mid-20s. And lots of young people in their early 20s do need help with their resilience and well-being. There are different kinds of coaching like performance coaching or sports coaching, but life coaching really looks at the psychological barriers and the things underneath the outcomes different young people want to achieve. I specialise in positive psychology coaching, which is the wellbeing science of positive psychology applied through coaching relationships, a coaching process, and helping you learn all the skills and tools for you to coach young people in a range of different settings or situations, depending on what your personal aims and outcomes are or your role that you're working with young people in. So different ways coaching can help young people is through academic success, so academic achievement, attendance, reducing absence and improving their behaviour at school is another outcome that coaching can help with. Also NEET prevention or helping them with employability skills and careers coaching. Helping young people with physical health outcomes including healthy lifestyles and learning strategies to manage stress to improve their well-being. Also helping them with relationship dynamics, family dynamics, relationships with peers, improving their home life. For example, I've trained practitioners who work in homelessness prevention and foster care to help young people with placement breakdowns and helping prevent family relationship issues. Another outcome is youth work, youth offending or crime prevention. Learning how to coach can help any practitioner who really works with young people, because what we're doing is underpinning the outcomes that you want to achieve with a coaching approach, coaching skills and tools, and a coaching way of being. So what are the benefits of coaching young people? The benefits are far-reaching and extensive, because what we're doing through a coaching process and a coaching program is supporting young people to build their own resources and strategies for resilience and well-being that help them navigate a range of different settings and situations, which means they can develop internal resources within themselves and also access the resources around them through improving their ability to ask for help, through their ability to communicate their needs effectively and also receive the support and help available to them. So the kind of outcomes that you might see really do depend on your role and your setting and how you're going to be using coaching. But for example, benefits can include improved attendance and attainment, academic success, attitudes to learning, improved resilience, improved well-being, better coping strategies, reduced stress, improved communication skills, reduced behaviour issues, better problem solving, the ability to find their own solutions, more aspiration, more motivation, improved behaviour. So really there are a lot of different outcomes. It really depends on your setting and your situation and the young people that you're coaching. But because underneath everything we're doing, we're improving their well-being and their resources, it's really up to them how the coaching benefits them as an individual. One of the benefits that excites me most about coaching on people is it offers another solution for early prevention of mental health problems. Because we're increasing young people's capacity for resilience and well-being, and we're helping them move away from languishing, which isn't a diagnosable mental health problem, but it's a lack of strategies for health and well-being. So by helping them through coaching, we're increasing their ability to move towards flourishing, which is protecting them against the onset of mental health problems. So I really believe coaching offers a solution for early prevention, and that's one of the major benefits that coaching can help young people with, no matter what the setting or context that you're using coaching within and what the outcomes that you want to achieve. Underneath it is increasing capacities and solutions for wellbeing and resilience, which can then protect against mental health problems. One question that I often get asked is, what's the difference between coaching and mentoring? Aren't they the same thing? No, they are not the same thing. They are different in their structure and process and purpose. Although both coaching and mentoring help move a young person forward and help them move closer towards their goal, the way they work is different. So we can explore the difference between coaching and mentoring. So sometimes people use the terms mentoring and coaching interchangeably, but that isn't actually correct. So coaching is usually a short-term intervention where you're supporting a young person to identify their goals and aims and develop the skills to then work towards achieving their goals. You do that through a non-directive approach of asking questions that helps raise awareness so they can find their own solutions. We usually do that through maybe 6 sessions at the most, where you're helping them move from one stage to another stage with increased capacities and resources within themselves. As a coach, you really shouldn't be creating dependency or seeing it as a long-term strategy. You can actually coach young people to then engage in an intervention like mentoring. To be a coach, you don't necessarily have to know the setting or the situation that the young person is in. And sometimes it actually is more helpful if you don't know the kind of contextual factors that that young person is in, because that can easily send you into rescuer mode or fixer mode, trying to offer solutions. Mentoring is a longer term relationship where a mentor usually has more experience or knowledge of that specific situation or context that that young person might be in. So it might be academically or professionally or career mentoring, where the mentor is sharing shortcuts and practical tips or making introductions that can really help that young person access the resources within that specific context or situation. Mentoring can be a lot more directive than coaching, and it can be a lot more practical. So if I were you, I would do this, is something that a mentor might say that a coach would probably not say. A mentor is using their own skills and knowledge and experience to guide the mentee forward. The mentor is also acting as a role model for the mentee, where the mentee can look up to the role model and think, I want to be like them. How did they get to where they are today, and what can I learn from them? And actually take their knowledge and learn from it to help themselves move forward. Both mentoring and coaching can be beneficial to help the young person move forward, but sometimes young people are not ready to receive mentoring and take on board that advice because they have their own psychological barriers and issues that they need to kind of overcome first in order to then access the support and information from the mentor. So one of my coach training participants, her job title is actually mentor for a NEET prevention organisation, and she's supporting employability coaching and careers coaching for young people who are not in education, employment or training. And she actually said, we do coaching before we do our mentoring to help young people engage in the mentoring until they've had coaching and they've reduced some of the barriers that stop them being able to access mentoring. Mentoring might actually make them feel worse because they don't feel able to take on board that advice and that information that the mentor might have to offer. But really, it's about the right intervention at the right time to meet the needs of the young people, and coaching offers an alternative and additional solution that helps young people move towards their goals. Can you coach young people? People quite often come to me asking me for permission almost to say, yes, you are able to coach young people. And that's how I felt when I first started out, that someone needed to give me permission. But I just gave myself permission, and that's what you can do too. So can you coach young people? If I can, then you can. Really, it's about, are you the right type of person to be able to coach young people? The most important thing to be able to coach young people is not how much experience that you have with them. Admittedly, when I first started coaching young people, I didn't really have that much experience working with young people. So the most important thing is your ability to build a supportive, trusted relationship with a young person, that you know their needs and you can understand the situations and challenges that they face in this modern world, which is different to the challenges that we faced when we were teenagers. And that you're able to be flexible and adaptable and understanding, that you have hope and belief for the young people that you work with, and that you really are motivated to support them to find their own solutions and move forward. So the most important thing is that you believe in young people and you want the best for them. And that's really your starting point when thinking about if you can coach young people. I love working with young people because that developmental stage of adolescence is a key time when we can really support them to develop many skills and resources that they can take through adult life. The reason why I ended up working with teenagers is because I wanted to specialise in using positive psychology coaching for early prevention of mental health problems. And during adolescence is a key time when we can help young people build in strategies that are going to help prevent mental health problems developing because of the synaptic pruning phase and their brains being stripped down and rebuilt. So we can actually use coaching and positive psychology strategies to program in to their brains helpful coping strategies that they can then use whatever situation that they're in going forward. So it really does help them to be resilient. It really depends on your current role working with young people as to your starting point in learning to be a coach. So you might already be a youth worker or a teacher or a pastoral leader or working in a school or a school nurse or any sort of different role supporting young people. You might want to think about, do I integrate coaching into my current role and have a coaching approach to teaching or a coaching approach to mentoring or a coaching approach to youth work? Or do I want to offer coaching sessions and develop coaching interventions within my school or within my role where I actually sit down and coach young people? Both things are achievable, and people tend to do a blend of both things in reality, because once you become a coach, you can't help it, you're coaching people all the time. Or you may want to think about learning to be a coach to set yourself up as an independent coach that works with young people. Most people that train to be a coach do a bit of a hybrid of lots of different things, where they might have a job part-time where they're coaching or using coaching in their work, or it's related to a coaching style of working, whilst they're building up their own professional practice coaching young people. Or they might be already running workshops for young people, they might be a counsellor or a tutor, and they might be wanting to add coaching as another string to their bow to offer a range of different tools and resources to the young people that they're working with and supporting. So to answer your question, can you coach young people? Yes, if you believe in young people, if you can offer them a fresh perspective through helping them find their own solutions, if you can listen to them and help them feel heard and ask good questions, and you're willing to gain a range of tools and strategies and learn how to coach young people, then yes, you too can also coach young people. What can prevent someone being successful as a coach that works with young people? It is a new way of working. I still feel that we're ahead of the game, even though I've been in this world for like 15 years. When I first started, nobody even knew what I was talking about, whereas now we're getting approached much more regularly to train people up in coaching. So the things that can stop you is a lack of access to young people. So you might not just have enough young people to complete your training or to actually get you going, or you might think it's easier than it actually is to access those young people or to get people bought into the concept of coaching. Another thing that might prevent you from coaching young people is thinking about how it fits into your own personal and professional aims and aspirations. You might really believe in coaching young people. You might totally be invested and see the benefits of how it can help young people, but might not know your own path towards integrating that approach into your current job or your current work or your lifestyle. So this is where my coach training program can really help. It can help you plan your own aims and goals and aspirations for using coaching with young people, as that's something we specifically cover on the coach training course. I also support the people on my programs to think about the barriers that they might have that are getting in the way of them coaching young people. That might be internal barriers or not knowing some things around business development or marketing or having a website, or the practical things that go alongside actually being able to coach young people. And also supervision sessions which really help the coaches that I'm training think about how they can keep moving forward with their own personal and professional development towards becoming a coach. So if you're ready to find out more about how coaching can really fit into your own personal and professional aims and aspirations and how you can support young people through coaching, then apply now for my Worth It Coach training course. And you can book a one-to-one chat with me just to have a discussion about your own personal aims and aspirations and what you think doing the course will give you. I really look forward to reading your application and finding out more about you and how you want to use coaching in your work with young people. I look forward to hearing from you. So go over and visit our website or like and subscribe to this channel to find out a lot more about the work that we do.